Welcome back to Market to Market. First, she fell in love with Trinidad and Tobago. Then she fell in love with our high-quality cocoa. Gina Hardy is now a bona fide Trini chocolatier and proprietor of Gina's Chocolate Truffles. How did you get into the world of chocolates?
Well, Kristle, it's a bit of a funny story. Partly by accident, partly by design, I suppose. I came to Trinidad about 6.5 years ago, and I was in the corporate world in banking for many years. And when I came here, I thought, I want to do something completely different. I had no idea what that something was going to be. And then one day, my future mother-in-law was going to throw Simon and I, my husband, a party to introduce us to all her friends and family. And so she asked me, so Gina, what are you going to make for this party? And rather arrogantly, I said, well, I'm going to make a batch of chocolate truffles. I'd never made chocolate truffles in my life. I had no idea what I was doing, but that was the first batch of truffles that I ever made. They were enjoyed at the party, and that was the first time. And then a friend of mine encouraged me to start taking orders that Christmas. And, I said, well, no, it's just a hobby. But she kind of persuaded me, and that December I took my first orders.
So is it that when you decided that you would make the chocolates for the party, you had no idea how to make chocolate truffles, or?
I had no idea, no.
So how did you learn?
The internet is a fabulous resource, and some basic cookbooks, and I think by that point I'd realized that Trinidad had some really, really good cocoa. So, I thought, yeah, why not try it?
I've heard, though, that making chocolate in tropical climates like ours is a bit of a challenge.
It is.
Tell us about that. What are the challenges?
Well, the main challenges are the heat and the humidity. If you don't treat your chocolate properly, you can get it can start blooming. So what happens is that the cocoa butter separates from the actual cocoa solids, and you get like a gray sort of pall on the chocolates. And of course, there's the problem of melting. So I work in a very small room, and the air conditioning is constantly on, and it's never above 22 degrees. So.
Well, tell us about your truffles.
Well, my truffles, they're all handmade using Trinidadian cocoa. The actual chocolate is made for me by Cocoa Bell. So I use that chocolate to make my truffles. I've got 21 flavors at the minute, so they come in all sorts of shapes and, all sorts of flavors. Some local flavors like the Trini truffle, which is rum and coconut. And then there's also Death by Chocolate, which has got Trinidadian honey and Scotch whiskey. So there's a whole variety of different flavors.
Is there a particular customer favorite among all of them?
Oh, one of my recent inventions is this thing called passion. So I use Trinidadian passion fruit, and I mix that into white chocolate to make this really gorgeous ganache. And so the filling consists of passion fruit, white chocolate, and then also dehydrated passion fruit seeds. So you bite into it and you get this tart fruitiness, and then it's followed by this wonderful texture and also the crunch of the passion fruit seeds. Yeah, that seems to be a hit. And it's also heart-shaped, so it's a fun chocolate.
How do you come up with your flavors?
Oh gosh. I suppose the best way to do that would, to explain that to you, is just like to tell you a little story. Just yesterday, for example, it's the season of Chinese New Year, and I'm from Singapore. So as a little girl, you'd visit friends and family, and there would be all kinds of sweets that would be on offer. And one of them that I remember so distinctly was pineapple tarts. And I bought this beautiful pineapple just a couple of days ago, and it was sitting on my kitchen counter, and I looked at it and I went, Chinese New Year, come on, let's do something. And I think anything goes with chocolate. If you just try to marry flavors properly, I think you can use any ingredient with chocolate. So I went ahead and I made the pineapple jam with cloves and cinnamon, and this morning I created what I'm now calling tart. It's this pretty little thing that I've painted in rose luster dust, and so there you go. It's just a matter of what inspires me at the time, and just bang, just go. Just do it.
Sounds good. Are all the inputs local in terms of your ingredients? You mentioned that you get your chocolate from Cocoa Bell.
Yes, my chocolate is local. Most of my ingredients are local. However, I don't limit myself to just local flavors, because I've lived all around, and I think because I've been exposed to so many different flavors, so many different cultures, so many different ingredients, I don't limit myself in terms of that. So I do use things like Scotch whiskey. Yesterday, again, I created a new flavor using dried blueberries and lavender. And that's turned out to be pretty interesting. So it's a combination of local as well as, from everywhere else.
What has consumer response been like to your products?
It's been phenomenal. My chocolates have gone through quite a few iterations. I mean, if you see them now as compared to when I first started, they look pretty different. And so, I've tried to improve them over the years. But over the past 2 years, I've been getting text messages, like random text messages from strangers, at about like 8, 9 in the night, just going, "Oh my God, I just tried these amazing chocolates," and congratulations and well done. And one particular customer described a chocolate that I have called Ooh La La as a combination of sex and chocolate. So that was pretty flattering. It was lovely. So no, it's been good. Consumer response has been great.
How do you promote the brand?
I don't do a lot of promotion, to be honest. I mean, the only thing I do, I suppose, is to put up pictures on Facebook. And whenever I've got a new flavor, a new chocolate out, I take numerous photos and I just post them up on Facebook. It's predominantly through word of mouth, and there are 4 shops in Trinidad that sell my chocolates. So that's basically it.
So tell us, where can consumers find Gina's Chocolate Truffles?
They're predominantly sold through Stetches. The biggest outlet, Stetches outlet, is at Piarco, so they can be purchased duty-free. So if you're ever, going in and out of Trinidad, that's a good place to buy it. Also at the Happy Gourmet in Val Park, at occasions at West Mall, and also Starlight in Maraval.
What advice do you have for persons who want to get on an entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, crikey, where does one start with that? Always do something that you love. This is not something that you want to do to make lots of money. It's, if you want to make lots of money, go and become an accountant or a banker. This is something that comes from the heart. It's about passion. It's about believing in your product. It's about, it's about contributing something back to society. For example, I'm not the first person in the world to be making, chocolate bonbons, truffles, whatever. It's been done, by lots of different people all over the world. But it's a matter of taking really superior ingredients, for example, chocolate that's made out of fabulous Trinidadian cocoa, and to add something to that, and to make a product that looks good, that tastes great. And in that sense, you just put yourself into it, and just for somebody else's enjoyment. That's what I think it's about. It should be about. And it is incredibly personal. You cannot separate, the business from the personal side of it. It is just so intertwined and so meshed together.
You speak very highly about cocoa, or local cocoa.
Yes.
I don't think there are a lot of people who know what level of quality, the high level of quality really, that Trinidadian cocoa actually is.
Yes.
Why do you think that is, and why do you think that we don't have a more vibrant chocolate industry here?
Okay, I'm going to have to be very diplomatic with my answer here. Trinidad did have a very, very thriving cocoa industry, and for whatever reason, I suppose there are different strands to it. Farming is not a very popular, job, I guess, especially in the tropics. Who wants to slog it out in the hot sun, harvesting cocoa? But there's been lots of different reasons why it declined. But I think in the past few years, though, there have been, incredible write-ups about how great Trinidadian cocoa is. It is fine flavor cocoa. It just makes up about 5% of the world's supply, and there is a huge amount of demand for it. Most of Trinidad's cocoa, unfortunately, gets exported, and it's sold through agents in New York and London. So there is not very much left of it in Trinidad. I think there has been more press, in the past few years, and it's getting there. People understand now that Trinitario cocoa, is the finest in the world.
What's next for Gina's Truffles?
I don't know. I say, live in the moment. This is my life now. This is what I do. I just want to keep creating. I'm happy. I'm absolutely thrilled. I wouldn't imagine that a girl from Singapore is living in Trinidad. Making chocolates. I mean, wow. That already is incredible for me. And yes, perhaps I might expand. It's a big world. There's all sorts of opportunities. So who knows?
Do you work alone or do you have a staff?
I work with one lady, Fallon, who you met just now, and she's incredible. So it's just the two of us. And so yeah, we do this full time.
We've come to the end of this week's episode of Market to Market. Thanks for staying with us. As always, we enjoy hearing from you. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. We welcome your feedback, comments, and suggestions. Take care, and we'll see you next week.